to our Outcast of the Week. It is, this week, Urban Meyer. I want to say one thing about this.
Go ahead,
before
please.
I let you go into your thing, all right, man?
Okay, go ahead.
So, a lot of people know my background.
Yeah.
A lot of people know my background. I come from a single father home. I love my dad to death. My mother, she, I know she ain't listening because, we don't have that great of a relationship. But I saw my mom get hit. And, it's really crappy. It's really shitty. As being a young kid for me, I did everything I could to protect my mother, even though we didn't have the best relationship. Doesn't mean I don't love her. But I grew up around a bunch of grown-ass men that knew what was going on and didn't do anything about it. The only one that ever did, is shout out to him once again, is my old man, who, would just come and save me from the disasters that I had to deal with growing up. So this kind of hits close to home for me, because I grew up around a bunch of men that want to talk shit but don't want to hit, and that's my whole thing is, if I had a sister, which I don't, if I had a sister, you know what, I'll use my wife's sisters in this. If someone hit Andrea, Joanna, or Bonnie, whether I can get my ass whipped or not, I'd be there defending their honor and getting my ass whipped or whipping ass either way. So this kind of hits a little close home to me. So if Urban Meyer, he knew about this, obviously, we saw these reports coming out from his lawyer today saying that you should say you know about it, blah, 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 blah. Then the excuses came out about the pills, which I'm going to let you jump into 1,000,000% here in a minute. But I said this in the Shady McCoy Twitter Live, what is that called, Periscope? Mm-hmm. In the Twitter Live Periscope that I had done about a month or two ago, is that if you ever lay your hands on a woman, man, you're a piece of shit in my eyes, no matter if she's punching you in the mouth or not. You have legs, you could run away. Handle it the right way. And if you know about it and you don't do anything to help, go to hell. So those are my words on that, because you know what, you could really ruin somebody, a child's life, if they're not strong enough to handle what they've seen, or you can, obviously the victim's life, being fearful of everything around them. So that it's no joke. If you know somebody that's going through that, you need to, what Juice said earlier, step up, be the better person, and do something about it. And Juice, I'm going to give you the floor. We'll give you a 5-minute window here, and
sure.
you go crazy on Urban Meyer.
So, when I first read this story, and as it totally break through, listening to a lot of reactions on this, there's one quote that Urban Meyer said in his presser that if you get a chance to go watch that presser, please do. It's sickening. It is a man who doesn't care. First of all, if you know, Urban Meyer is the highest paid in all the state of Ohio state employee by a mile. And he's a guy who has been given every outcome to succeed. And when you look at what's going on when it comes to Ohio State, it's sick, because not only did he do anything he can to save his ass, but the whole committee regarding Urban Meyer did everything they could to make sure that he had an ass to save. And the Big Ten and the NCAA need to step up and fix this, because 3 games is not enough. Jim Tressel, if you remember, got fired because his players were getting tattoos for free. And this cat gets a 3-game suspension because he was protecting a family member. Bro, that's it's sick. As you just said, it is sick. The fact that this institution, this university, this community is so inept at doing their job, all because it's a couple that it just shows that no matter who you are and what you got going, if you got money and if you're bringing in money to somewhere, the rules just do not apply to you. And that's sick. That's sickening. I have 2 sisters and my mother, and if anybody ever kept anything like this, I swear it'd be the end of that human being. The end. It's ridiculous. And then he's gonna step up and say that he's taking medication and he can't remember things. You're a joke, bro. You're a joke. And you know what? There are a lot of people, and myself included, always thought this guy was a scumbag He's worse than a scumbag. Imagine this cat. He's in his 50s. He's 50. He's in his 50s. Imagine this. Go back to Penn State. Look at what happened at the end of Joe Paterno's run. Joe Paterno got escorted out because why?
Jerry Sandusky.
Well, that and he's an old guy.
Oh yeah.
He's not bringing in as much anymore to this university. So
He's still a piece of shit.
but look at absolutely. But the rules apply when there's nothing on the line for people. And that's sick. And that's what's happening in society today. They'll stick their neck out as long as he's making money for them. And the Ohio State football program brings in a lot of money.
Oh, absolutely.
But what's sick about this whole thing is that everybody involved backed him up and said, all right, Urban, this is what we're doing. A 3-game suspension. Well, the first 3 games of the year, you're going to play 2 tune-ups and some bullshit team from God knows where. So they're going to be 3-0. They're based on talent. So what is the punishment here? Where's the punishment?
There's no punishment.
And that's freaking sick that we live in a world that something like this can go undocumented, unreprimandable. It is ridiculous to me. The fact that, and this is the quote that always, I followed my heart and not my head. Well, where's your heart, Urban Meyer? Are you a human?
With the kid that he looked at as being his kid.
Does he not have daughters? Does he not have a wife?
Doesn't matter what he has. It's exactly what you just said. He's sick. He's an asshole. And I'm
dive deep down into his heart. That's a sick quote. And the fact that he goes into this press conference and doesn't mention the victim and how sorry he is for keeping this down and letting this happen one time. He looked like a kid at Boy Scout camp who got put up on the podium and said, all right, announce your penance. And then once you do that, you can come down and be a coach again. It's ridiculous. It's sick. In the Big Ten and the NCAA better do something, because if they don't, they're just setting a precedent for the rest of the conference. And if you look at what's happened in the Big Ten and around the NCAA with the kid at Maryland dying because the coach just pushed him too hard, the NCAA has a problem, and you better fix it. And you better figure out that there's worth a lot. These kids' lives, and there's coaches' lives, and not in a sense of Urban Meyer, but there's people attached to your program that are worth more than making $1. And that's the unfortunate part, that the almighty dollar is worth lives at this point.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's always
sick.
been. The almighty dollar's always been worth it.
It's sick.
Yeah.
And figure it out, Big Ten, before you have a mutiny on your hands, and it's the wild, wild west out here, and nobody gives a shit.
Right.
Because that's what's going to happen. And it's sick to me. And that's why he's worse than the outcast of the week. He should be outcast out of his job and out of society, because that is sick. To know something like that, and to keep it, and to protect it for that long, and then to get up on that podium and say, I'm sorry, I followed my heart, not my head. That just shows that you're more guilty than I've ever seen.
It's called saving face.
It's sick.
It is.
No, but it's saving face or not. What is do the right thing? What is wrong with, if you already knew he was getting a 3-game suspension, going up there and saying, "Hey, I screwed up. I wasn't thinking right. I should have reported this. I'm human. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the victims' families. I'm sorry that to the university I put this program through. I take any punishment that they give me. What is wrong with that?" Instead, you get this half-assed apology where he goes up, doesn't mention the victim's name, and gets sent. And essentially, he's just up there to answer questions. And they don't release the report that outlines everything that they investigated until after. So he doesn't even have to really answer any questions that mean a damn thing, because the reporters and the media don't have any access to know what they found in the investigation. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah, Ohio State should be Ohio State should be embarrassed.
I agree.
With what's going on.
I agree.
And they should be
I agree wholeheartedly.
They shouldn't, and this goes to the coach. They should fire his ass, and there should be some real punishments for this program.
Understood.
Because it's sick. I'm sorry.
No,
I went on a little longer than probably the 5 minutes.
It's okay, man. But
it's damn ridiculous.
I agree with everything you just
I
said.
woke up this morning and I saw that was the punishment for him. And after I read that, I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing, but I read the synopsis regarding what the investigation showed. It's sick. He's a sick human being, and the fact that you're going to use a pill and say that you're going to lie and say I don't remember things, it's ridiculous. But you can remember every play in 2009 when you were in the NFC or the NCAA championship. It's ridiculous. You're a liar, you're a cheat, and I hope Ohio State never wins another football game ever again.
I love that. I agree with that. Urban Meyer's a douchebag, and that's exactly what I alluded to before I let you go on your rant. I'm glad that you got to get that off your chest, and if anybody has anything to add to that, you know where to tweet at us. At SM Juiceman, at SM Buzzweed, more importantly, at SM Outcasts.
Yeah, and if you're, you know what, and if you're one of these guys, because I've seen them, because I've scrolled through Twitter, if you're one of these guys saying, well, it's not his job to police it, you're damn right it is.
Can I throw it up?
Go ahead. You're damn right. You're damn right. It's his job to police it. We all have jobs as humans to report things that are wrong.
Right. So you know what? After that huge rant, my rant's gonna sound really dumb. But I'm just
it's not.
I'm just gonna get into it.
It's never dumb.
No.
But what you're about to talk about too is stupid.
It is stupid.
It's hometown stupid. Hometown Chicago stupid.
Right. So
be better.
What I wanted to get into real quick with everybody is I had posted I tweeted a video out from Hoops Mixtape, and it was Derrick Rose before he tore his ACL, and it was like badass Derrick Rose, you know. And I get all these Chicago fans shitting on Derrick Rose, shitting on me for liking Derrick Rose, and all this in between. I just want to say one thing real quick. If you think this kid wanted to tear his ACL and not be the player that he was when he won the MVP and lead this organization and this franchise back to predominance and back to being the echelon, the upper echelon of the NBA, then you're an idiot. This is why we can't have nice things.
Absolutely.
Is because Chicago, as much as I love my city, I back my goddamn teams. I back them no matter what. Whether we win, whether we lose, whether we did something stupid. And there's going to be a Periscope or a Twitter live video going out actually after we're done recording this. So be sure to go to the SM Outcast page because you're going to see some of my heartfelt opinions on, one, Michael Kopech for getting killed right now for being a kid making just stupid mistakes. You don't realize that you can all ruin somebody's life. You can ruin somebody's life. You idiots want to sit there and go after this guy for talking shit, or this guy for talking shit, or this guy for talking shit, but you, I'm not talking to our fans, they know who I'm talking to. A lot of you that I know listen to this show, that I know follow us on Twitter, are just as bad as the people that are sitting there talking shit about what you think is going on in this nation or whatever the hell you want to say. That's cool, man. Do what you got to do. People make mistakes, man. Derrick Rose's ACL tear wasn't a mistake. His body.
It's an unfortunate accident.
Went out on him. And you're going to sit there and put these memes of him with mechanical legs, or you're going to hold over his head that he wants to walk at his kid's graduation. That kid is still putting in more work to try to be the best that he possibly can be, and he did it the whole time. He did it the whole time. His whole world turned upside down from being the best wherever he was at to not being the best anymore. This is why Chicago fans get a bad rap, just like Philly fans do. But the thing about Philly fans is they're just assholes. We get a bad rap because I think we're one of the most fair weather cities.
We run people out.
We run people out of here. We're one of the most fair weather cities in the world. You stood by Derrick Rose when he won his MVP, and you watched his return videos. You watched him break down.
You bought his jerseys. You bought his shoes.
You bought his shoes. Right here, YouTube. Right here. Here's the original Derrick Rose shoe. Right here. You guys bought that. You cheered for him when he won the MVP. You watched his return videos. You watched him cry up on the podium when the 2 came out, or the 2 or 3, whatever shoe it was. When it came out and he cried, saying that he's going to try to do his best to come back. You know how it affected him, and then you still shit on him. Chicago, get your shit straight. Don't tweet at me if you're an idiot. If you want to tweet at me, that's cool, and you want to talk your dumb shit, that's fine. Go ahead and do it. I'll give you my address. You can come over here and talk about it, because I will smack the shit out of somebody that keeps talking shit about D. Rose. You're not a Chicago kid like us. We might be out in the burbs now, but that's where we're from. That kid tried his best. He tried to come back, and guess what? A torn meniscus, 2 torn meniscuses, and an ACL later. You're mad at him because he's not the same player? You don't think he tried to come back? You don't think that he hates that he got traded from Cleveland to Utah, and then Utah just cut him to shed the salary? You're an asshole. Get bent. Hashtag get bent. and grow up. You're a terrible-ass fan. Go to hell. That's my Derrick Rose rant. D-Rose is plastered all on that back wall. I know you guys can't see it because you're looking at this one. But D-Rose is everywhere over there. And then right there, too. Autographed picture, autographed plaque, MVP year, everything. The Slam magazine where he said no bull before he won it. I framed it. No bull, Derrick Rose wants to be MVP. That kid wanted it all. His body robbed him of it. You hate on him? You're an asshole.
And that's,
go to hell.
And that's, here real quick, I'm just going to give a minute on how I felt about
Did
that.
my face turn red, bro?
Yeah, it did. You're always Bull's red.
Yeah.
But my opinion on that is you're hard-pressed to say that Derrick Rose wasn't a success story.
Still was a success story.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard-pressed to say he wasn't a success story.
But no one looks at him like that.
The kid came from the west side in Inglewood.
Came with Inglewood, bro.
Played with Chicago on his chest. The Bulls get lucky, draft him with the number 1 overall pick. To think that kid didn't understand what was going on in this city and the things he did for this city and the dedication he gave, like you said, to come back. If you feel that way, listen, there's a lake that runs off, Lakeshore Drive.
Man.
Go jump in it. Because I'm telling you that right now. Derrick Rose, he's going to go down as one of the most loved Bulls we've ever seen.
And I don't want to see anybody ever wear the number 1 again. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want to see anybody wear it. You know why?
I can understand it.
You know why? Because he came here.
He did way more for the city than just played basketball.
He did. And you know what, dude? I don't want to see anybody wear number 13 either. Because you know what we were talking about in the beginning of the show? Joakim Noah's out in these streets right now. He was just here last week.
Yep.
He was just here last week.
He loves Chicago. Why?
Love Chicago.
But Chicago, like we said, is that front runner city that they'll love you when you're winning.
And they'll hate you when
you're losing.
Get better.
That's ridiculous.
Get better or get bent.
You think he really wanted to if Derrick Rose doesn't tear his ACL,
pisses me off so bad.
In that year, the Bulls probably win a championship.
No shit, man.
And that's just an unfortunate thing that happened in his career.
That year when we added Rip Hamilton as our shooting guard, just somebody who could move without the ball and do something besides Luol Deng.
Yep.
And even, you know me about Luol Deng. I'm not going to get that's a pod for another day.
And defensively, all 5 of those guys could play decent defense. I know Derrick wasn't the best, but
he could.
Derrick was a good defender when he wanted to.
When needed, he was there.
When he wanted to.
Anyway, that team was a championship team. I am convinced solely that they would have beat the Heat that year if Derrick would never got hurt. But anyway,
we had a really fiery episode this week.
It's not just a fiery, man. Like, dude, be a good person, be better, don't be a douchebag. And if you're a social media warrior, come find us. And I can tell you exactly where to find us on September 17th. We will be at the Chicago Bears home opener against the Seattle Seahawks.
This is one of your better transitions I ever had.
You want to come find us? Especially Ask Juice at Bears games. I'm a loose cannon. So come on, hang out. We'll have a good time. You can meet some other people from the SM fam.
It'd be a real shame if you got his ass whooped on Monday Night Football.
Boy. Anyway, be sure to 5-star rating us. Give us that review on Apple Podcasts so you can enter to win yourself a free jersey once we get up to 40 5-star ratings and reviews with the comments. We'll pick the best comment. We will give you guys a free jersey of your choosing. Pinwheels and Ivy, same thing. Check them out. They're not giving away a free jersey, but check them out and do the same thing I just said. SoundCloud, Google Play, whatever. We will be back next week with episode 12 of the Outcasts. It was a great episode this week. I had a good time. I had a good beer. I got to talk some shit.
Episode 12 might have a guest on. I have to send out an email real quick.
Alrighty. We might have a guest next week. We don't know yet. We do this. we literally do this shit like day by day.
On the fly.
On the fly. That's how we do it. Outcast Nation, we'll be back next week. Make sure to check us out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. As for Juice, I am Buzz. Hit him with the Juice Man.
The Juice Man. Juice.
We outie. See ya.
Go to Sports Mockery for Chicago sports, news, and commentary from those who know it best, the fans.